Hey, it's Haley, and this is The Real MP3s. Dude, the irony of getting my purse stolen from a campsite at a festival that's famous for saying radiate positivity. That and deflated air mattresses, sleeping in the back of a vehicle, and Billy Joel telling me to get the F off of the road. Did I have a great time? No. Would I do it again? Oddly, yes. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, now we're talking. I need a remote so badly. Actually had a remote, but I lost it. Big surprise. But my ass getting up and down all the time is getting super old like me. So, thanks for being here. My name is Haley. This is The Real MP3s. Since it is festival season, music festival season, by the time this is actually out there, it's going to be post Bonnaroo by quite some time. But a lot of people... I noticed went, and I was having a conversation with somebody recently how Bonnaroo is just kind of not what it used to be, man. Like, I remember they used to have like legends come out like Paul McCartney and freaking Elton John and shit, and now they're like, Rufus Du Sol, 2 nights of Fish. If you're into that, more power to you. But that's just not something that I would do anymore. And like when they announce the lineup, I can't decide if I'm getting old or they're just not really investing in the legendary talent anymore. If you think Rufus Du Sol is a fucking legend, more power to you. But my Bonnaroo days were so much fun, so questionable, so memorable to say the least. And honestly, like, some people go hard for that shit, you know? Some people go so hard, and by that, I mean, like, they camp there. Like, Bonnaroo, you can go there Wednesday through Monday. And it wouldn't surprise me if people just stay the fuck up the entire weekend. It's insane. But it wasn't, like, I went to Bonnaroo for the first time in 2015. And it's not just Bonnaroo, it's all music festivals that I'm going to be talking about, or the ones that I've camped at, because... Oh, I want to love it, and I don't, okay? My first Bonnaroo was 2015. 2015. It was the night of Mumford & Sons, Billy Joel, and Kendrick Lamar, I think. And, when they asked, it was my first time, like, I was brand new full-time at the radio station. I was, like, early 20s. And they're like, do you want to go to Bonnaroo, like, with media passes this year? And I'm like... Fuck yeah, of course. Like, I was dying to do stuff like that, right? And so they finally asked me to go, and I said yes. And they're like, all right, we got you an interview with 21 Pilots on that Sunday. And this is when 21 Pilots were not at the caliber that they're at right now, to say the least. So, like, we got you an interview with 21 Pilots, and the rest of the time you're just going to go and get content and people watch and post, and that's pretty much it. I'm like, all right, word. So it's me and my tech, Alan, and I said, yeah, of course I'll go. And they're like, okay, do you have camping equipment? And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, yeah, I got camping equipment. And I didn't. You want to know why? Because I've never camped in my life. I've never camped in my life. I know that's everybody's childhood, right? Or a lot of people's childhood. I thought it was normal to not camp because I didn't like it. And listen, I'm the most indoorsy person you will ever meet. And that's going to make me sound really hoity-toity and boring and no fun. And you want to know what? It's fine, because nothing about it sounds fun to me. I am a very indoorsy person. I don't like being outside in the summer. And right now it's damn 95 degrees in Tennessee. And it's brutal. It is damn brutal. And it's dress season when everybody's like, you look so cute. I'm like, thank you. It's way too hot for pants. I'm not trying to look cute. I swear it's because I am sweating in places that shouldn't anyway. But I'm like, yeah, I have camping equipment, and I didn't. And so I asked my friend at the time, I said, I don't know what to do. I don't have a tent. I don't even have a sleeping bag, dude. There's no reason for it. So she's like, just borrow some of my stuff. And I said, oh my God, thank God. Okay. So she gave me this little dinky ass one person, like you couldn't even like sit upright in it. And I'm like, you know what? I need something. Okay, so it'll work. And I didn't really know anybody else that could like lend me. I'm not buying that shit. I'll never use it. So I borrowed her dinky ass tent and air mattress and a sleeping bag and like the whole 9 yards. She hooked me up. Just wait. The first year I went, so I worked nights at the time. So I worked until midnight on Friday. So I already missed the first day, whatever. The Thursday of Bonnaroo is like a test run anyway, right? Or I like to think so. So I get there late Friday night. I worked until midnight in Nashville, and Manchester is like an hour and 20 minutes from Nashville. So your girl got there late. It was like 1:30 in the morning by the time I actually got there. So I'm like Alice in Wonderland. I'd never been to Bonnaroo before, much less camping in a tent. And I was all by myself. I was meeting my tech there. He was already there. And I was texting him and I said, hey, I'm on my way. He's like, cool. Just, when you get here, just let me know. So if you've been to Bonnaroo before, coming from Nashville on 24, you take the exit. And Bonnaroo is just like right off the side of the road, right off this exit. So I turn in and there's no signs, or there's a sign that says like Bonnaroo this way, but that's about it. So leading up until then, there were some people in like uniforms, like almost construction uniforms, whatever, just telling people where to go. And I pull up to one of them and I said, hey, I have media passes. I'm supposed to find the campsite. I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know where to park. And he turns and he's like, you can park right there. And it wasn't a parking lot. It was like this wooded area, just trees and grass. And there was like 2 other cars there. He's like, you can park right there. I'm like, all right, thanks. So I go over there and I'm parked and I'm like, I don't even know if my car is going to be here by the time I'm done on Sunday because I'm not sure if I can actually park here. But I did. I parked. I brought my purse, my tent, all my shit, and I just start walking towards the festival. And I'm walking, and Alan is texting me, like telling me where to go. And I'm like, I don't see any of this shit, dude. I said, I'm just going to walk until I find a gate and I can ask another person. Next thing you know, I am in the festival. Nobody searched me. I didn't scan a ticket. I'm just in there, all up in it. So I essentially snuck in to Bonnaroo my first year because I had no idea where I was going. So, life hack, if you just stumble into Bonnaroo, apparently that's a thing. And I'm like, this is not good. Because I had wristbands and everything. So I'm like, whatever. I was unknowingly, I snuck right in to Bonnaroo. Eventually, I found camping where Alan was. And I didn't know. I knew he had media passes, but we had the special camping where like the artists and vendors camp and media. So it was right behind the witch stage. So it was super close to everything. So we didn't have GA camping where you had to walk 100 miles just to get to the entrance, right? So we had the special camping. It was, like I said, 1:30 in the morning at this time, pitch black outside. The witch stage was going strong. And I think that night was the night that Kendrick Lamar was playing. So he was on one of his, I don't know. I don't remember shit. So Alan, with a very limited amount of lights that we have, we're like trying to set up my tents. And he's like, how do you? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know how to set this up. I said, if I'm sleeping in the grass tonight, so be it. Because I don't know how to put this shit together. So the funny part is, and this is probably, I don't think I've shared the story yet, but when I'm putting together, like I go straight into my pajamas, right? I think I actually drove down there in my pajamas because it was late. So I'm wearing my Melophobia t-shirt, Cage the Elephant Melophobia t-shirt, and I'm putting up this tent with little to no light, trying to figure it out. Never put a tent together in my fucking life. So all of a sudden I hear this guy walk by and he's like, I like that shirt. I didn't pay any attention. It was dark. I couldn't see anything. And I said, oh yeah, you like that band? And he's like, yeah, that's my band. I'm like, what? And here was Matt from Cage the Elephant walking by. He was camping like 2 tents down from us the whole entire weekend. And of course, the tech comes out and he's like, oh my God, we need a picture to post it on the station socials and stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize it was him. And it was the coolest that we ran into him like 5 different times that weekend. And he wasn't even performing. He was just there, just hanging out, chilling, whatever. And that was such a cool moment. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be the best weekend ever. Yeah. So I get my tent put together, and we didn't do much that night. We just kind of fucking hung out in the camp. So my friend at the time, like I said, I borrowed her tent. We finally got it up, blew up the air mattress, put it in the tent, and whatever. That next morning I woke up and first of all, the air mattress was flat to the ground and there was a giant gaping hole in it. And ants were everywhere in my tent, and they were crawling all over me, and I'm like, and hot as shit outside. I'm like, oh my God, this is the absolute worst. This has nothing to do, when I say like my friend at the time, this has nothing to do with me not being friends with her anymore. That has nothing to do with it. But I'm like, all right, let me go get coffee. So I go and get like a latte and whatever. And this is when I'm really fucking hoity-toity, okay? When you're in the media camping, you have access to running water and showers. And I had the nerve to sit there and bitch that I had to walk through gravel to use the showers with running water. And that's when I realized, I'm like, I am bitching about a luxury, dude. I'm like, I don't belong here. I'm not a camping person at all. So the festival was great. It was fine. I kind of got to see Mumford and Sons that night, but they were 10 miles away, so I couldn't really see it. So Alan and I were just like, do you want to sit here and pretend we're watching the show, or do you just want to fucking walk around and just whatever? So people watched the whole time. And honestly, I think people watching is the star of the show at Bonnaroo. The music is the bonus. I 100% think that the people watching is the reason you go. So we kind of saw Mumford and Sons, kind of not. But then the final day is when I had my interview with 21 Pilots, and it was very early in the day. And like I said, they were babies. They weren't at the caliber nearly that they are now. And I think maybe around the time of this interview, 21 Pilots could do like Marathon Music Works in Nashville, which is only, I want to say, how many people does the Marathon Music Works hold? 1,000? It's either way more or way less than 1,000. I have a feeling, but they weren't a big band, but they were playing. I think they were the first band on the What stage, which is the main stage. So we were in the media tent getting ready to interview them. But first we're like, hey, instead of going all the way out to the interview and then coming all the way back and packing up the tent, why don't we just pack everything up and then we'll put it in the vehicle. And then once the interview is done, Alan's like, I'm out. I'm like, it's cool. Because he was like my camera person the whole weekend. So I said, that's totally fine. So we're packing everything up at our campsite, broad daylight, thousands of people around, not thousands, but we were packing everything up, and all of a sudden I'm like, where's my purse? I couldn't find my purse. And I said, well, by chance, I just took out my keys and my wallet and my phone and just had it with me. So I'm like, well, there's nothing in there that I can't live without for right now. So I'll find it. It's probably in the vehicle. It's probably wrapped up in the tent or something like that. And which, by the way, that second night after Mumford and Sons, I slept in the station vehicle because I'm like, I'm not just sleeping in that ant infested tent with no sleeping bag. So I just reclined the seats back and I slept in the station vehicle that night. And what else was I supposed to do? So yeah, I was done, and I was glad that was the final night. But we packed everything up for 21 Pilots. Before 21 Pilots, and I did the interview, and this will probably be a story for another time because I really enjoyed the conversation with 21 Pilots, and they ended up saying stuff that I was surprised that they shared, because they had like ties to Nashville, and they were telling about this time that they got snubbed by Robert Plant, and their manager that was with them afterwards, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that they told you the Robert Plant story. I'm like, hey, so it was like a conversation. I'll maybe share in detail that time, but it was also my first on-camera interview, so I was nervous, of course, naturally. So, but it went really well, and it was really cool. And after that, I could kind of just enjoy the festival after that. So, did the interview with 21 Pilots, saw them on stage, and seeing them on that massive stage was like, these guys are going to blow up. I just know these guys are going to blow up. And they did, of course. They fucking did. So that was really cool. I was there for AWOL Nation because I was obsessed with AWOL Nation at the time. Saw them. They were amazing. Brutally fucking hot out that day. And I'm like, it's one of those things, because Billy Joel was that night. And I wanted to go so badly, but I was hurting bad at this point. And I was burnt to a crisp, and I had no sleep. And I'm like, do I see Billy Joel or do I not? And obviously that answer would be, fuck yeah, you're going to see Billy Joel. But I didn't. I wish I would have, because there was my opportunity. I just left way too early because your girl was struggling. So I saw AWOL Nation. I saw a little Florence and the Machine. I saw a little tiny bit of Robert Plant. And that's about it. But when I was walking out, because I don't even remember where I parked, and I said, hey, I'm trying to find, because I was so turned around when I got there, it was pitch black, and that construction worker was just like, I don't know, park there. And I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to get back to my car. So I'm walking out by myself, and I'm like, it's been real. I'm done. I'm so done. So I'm walking out to my car, and I'm on this gravel road, and next thing you know, like, I'm almost to my car, and people are like, hey, you need to get off the road. I said, I'm not on the road. What the hell are you talking about? They're like, no, you have to like be like in a shelter or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, Billy Joel is on his way in, and he doesn't want anybody walking on the road. And I'm thinking, dude, I was so done at this point. I'm like, who the fuck does he think he is? Billy Joel telling me I can't walk to my car. I'm like, fuck him, dude. I'm gonna walk to my car. So I pulled over for just like a second, and I'm like, when is he coming through? I don't see him. And they're like, well, he's on his way. He didn't want anybody walking on the road. I'm like, I'm like, fuck that. I'm walking to my car. And they're like, we're sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, I'm walking to my fucking car. So I did. Never saw his bus. So listen, they were doing their job, whatever. But I'm like, I don't see him. Billy Joel is not telling me I can't walk to my car. So yeah, that was my first Bonnaroo. I did it horribly in the most rookie way possible. But you know what's fucked up? That next day I asked Alan, I said, did you ever find my purse? Because I told him I lost it. And he's like, no, I never found anything. Some motherfucker stole my purse. Clear as day. I had it sitting down next to me, rolling up our tent. There were people around. It was daylight. And I'm looking around. Next thing you know, I'm like, where the fuck is my purse? Nowhere to be found. Someone fucking stole it right up behind me. Thank God, for whatever reason, I had my purse, keys, and wallet with me. Or my wallet, keys, and phone with me. I don't know why. I don't know how. So whoever fucking stole it, they got like maybe some lipstick and some Midol out of it. Hope it was worth it. I was so mad, but I'm like, thank God. So first Bonnaroo was very okay. It was very okay. The second year was, but when did I go after that? 2018. So that was the year. It was Eminem, The Killers, and Muse. Hell yes. Again, I get there late at night. We're camping. And I camped with my best friend, Alicia. And luckily, and Alicia and I were like just getting to know each other at this point. We weren't like besties. And she's like, I have a shit ton of camping stuff. A shit ton of it. I'm like, okay. Because I don't have anything. She had this giant like 6-person tent. She had this huge cooler full of shit. And like the good cooler. And she had solar powered everything. She had solar powered lights. She had solar powered fans. She had this giant, like 12-gallon jug of water with a spout so we could shower. Like, I think she had like solar powered phone chargers. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, I picked the right person to go camping with. But that first morning that we were there, we got late at night. We didn't see Muse. It just, whatever. Muse is amazing live, but I'm just like, it was kind of late. So we wake up that next morning and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, brutally hot outside. And we're like, well, you want a mimosa? And we start drinking at 7 o'clock in the morning because what else is there to do? And we kept going. It was an all-day bender, dude. It was a fucking all-day bender. And by that night, that night was Eminem. And we went there to check it out for a little bit. I can take it or leave it. I know that's sacrilegious for a lot of people, but I can take it or leave it. I'm not a hip-hop person, not a rap person, just not. But since I'm here, let's check it out for a little bit. So we did. And we were on our way back to the tent, and we parked way the fuck out there for GA camping. We had like a step counter or like a Fitbit or whatever the hell, and we logged how far it is from our tent to the entrance of the festival. 1.5 miles from our tent to the entrance. So we were hauling ass. And so when we were wrapping things up at Eminem, we're like, let's just go back to the tent. And we were so fucking wasted. So we're like, let's just go back to the camp. So we did. And on the way back from the camp, and you might even remember this, when there was like this loud boom, like this gunshot. And it stirred up all kinds of controversy the next day. Remember that? There was like this loud gunshot. And people were saying either, you don't go to an Eminem show and not expect shit like that. But I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't at an Eminem show. I'm at a festival and I'm curious about Eminem, so I'm just checking him out. So I wasn't expecting that, but we were on our way out just as we were leaving the stage area and the festival area, and right as we crossed over to the campground site, there was this loud ass boom, and we're like, was that supposed to happen? Like, did someone get shot? Like, we're like, oh shit, I don't know, let's just keep walking. But yeah, the next morning, everybody's like, yeah, he does that at all of his shows. And I'm like, well, I didn't fucking know that. I thought it sounded so, it was so much louder than the music. So whatever, we were already gone by that time, but it was fine, whatever. But I can't believe, and another one of those camping things that I'm not at all prepared for, because when we were getting ready for this trip, I didn't know. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring a bunch of food that's easy to eat and that won't go bad. So I'm sitting there with my fucking chips and my granola bars and all this alcohol. The only reason we didn't die that day from all the shit that we drank and for how long, like I said, it was an all-day bender. It was miserably hot outside. Here I brought like fucking Pringles and granola bars, and here Alicia brought all this like fresh fruit and all the like vegetables and all this shit with substance. I'm like, we would have died if living off fucking Pringles, dude. Oh my God. I'm like, I have so much to learn before I do this again, right? I have so much to fucking learn. But it was funny because that next day you wake up feeling great, and the highlight of Bonnaroo 2018 was fucking Moon Taxi. I heard so much about their live shows. I've never experienced it for myself, but holy shit, can they put on a show. People like blowing up condoms like balloons and throw them into the crowd. Dude, it was a fucking party. I was here for it. It was amazing. And then like by the end of it, and we just went for fun, right? I wasn't there doing any kind of station social content, nothing like that. We were there for a good time. So I'm like, all right, the hotter it gets and the more rundown you get, the shorter your time frame. Because it's like, I would like to stay for all the killers, but if I just if I have to leave, a song or two early, then that's totally fine. And then it's like, okay, I'm really hot. So if I can just stay for half of the Killers, that'd be great. And suddenly it's like my expectations and my standards are going down awfully quick because I'm like, I can leave after the first Killer song. But then I told Alicia, I'm like, I really want to see the Killers. I will leave, but I want to see Mr. Brightside, and somebody told me, once they sing those, I'm good to go. Well, if that night, the first two songs weren't somebody told me and Mr. Brightside in that fucking order, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I only saw the two songs, but that's all I needed. That is all I fucking needed, dude. It was insane. It was insane. But camp, I will say, I guess the only place I've ever camped at a festival was the grounds at Manchester, because about a year later, we went to Exit 111 Festival. Dude, rest in peace, Exit 111. It's unfortunate because they only had it 1 year, and it was in October of 2019, a 3-day festival. It was bonkers. Like, it was like a metal Bonnaroo, pretty much, like a heavy metal Bonnaroo. And who were the headliners that night? Or that weekend? Was it Lynyrd Skynyrd, Guns N' Roses, and Def Leppard? But they had all kinds of bands. They had like Seether and Nothing More and fucking Whitechapel. Yeah. I don't know. Once they wrapped it up, they're just like, nope, we're not doing it again. It's been real. Maybe they spent way too much money on GNR. Maybe not a lot of people showed up. It looks fucking packed. I don't know why, but the funny thing about that is, like, it was in October. So I'm like, I will camp in October because I hate being outside when it's 97 degrees outside. But if the high is 65, fuck yeah. I love that shit. So that night, we camped one night, and we didn't stay for the whole festival, but we just camped the one night. And it got down to 32 degrees that night, camping in a tent. And I slept like a fucking baby, dude. I will take 32 degree camping over 90 degrees any day. It was fine. I slept like a goddamn baby. It was fantastic. But it's funny because, like, we're wandering around the campsite and everybody was so chill. Like, Bonnaroo is very good vibes only. Like, but these people, they didn't say that, obviously. They didn't have the Radiate Positivity shit, but they sat there and did nothing, and it was just automatically a better vibe. Isn't that funny? I personally hate the saying good vibes only because it's usually the people with not so good vibes that say it. And this was a perfect example of that. People are just hanging around, chilling, and we had the best time with them. And it was October, so there were a lot of people with, like, decked out, like, Halloween campsites. And they're like, yeah, come in, we're grilling if you want somebody. We're like, hell yeah. And it was like, we're just hanging out with these people. We're just fucking hanging out with these people. I ended up going live on Facebook because I was there with the station. I had to get content, and I did a very horrible job at doing that this weekend. I had an interview with Nothing More, and then I had an interview with Dirty Honey on Sunday, and that's basically all the content I got, because I've, in an episode previously, the whole Nothing More Whitechapel story, dude, to touch on it, go back and listen to the episode. There is nothing more embarrassing than this Whitechapel story. It's because my drunk ass got the two stages mixed up, and I thought Nothing More was going to be on this certain stage at this time. Turns out they were on another stage at an earlier time, so I completely missed Nothing More, and I'm gushing to the security guard about how melodic and poetic Nothing More is, and I was about to cry because I love this band so much, and they're so amazing, and they're so poetic. And then I go up to the front with my photo pass, and I'm about to take photos, and the crowd starts chanting Whitechapel, and it was Whitechapel. So poetic, and the lead singer comes out screaming his ass off. I was so pissed. I went back to the camp and I missed the rest of the festival that night. So I missed Ghost. I missed Def Leppard. I missed a lot of, I was so pissed because that was like one of the reasons I went, was because I love Nothing More so much. And I've never seen him in concert fully. I've only seen him like acoustic sessions or whatever, but that was the only time I was going to see Nothing More. And I fucked it up. So I was mad. So we went back to the camp. I had a photo pass to see Def Leppard, but they wanted me there like an hour and a half before the set. They're like, they go on at 11 o'clock. You can't be there any later than 9:30. I'm like, bitch, I'm not. What? And for photo passes, they don't give you the whole show. They give you like the first 2 songs, 3 if you're lucky. And I'm like, that's a long time to be sitting around doing nothing for a couple of Def Leppard photos. And like, dude, it depends on the band, right? Def Leppard, they're great. If it was Aerosmith, I'd be like, yes, I will do whatever I want. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will wait there for an hour and a half. GNR, I don't even think they allowed photo passes. I don't know. But yeah, I ruined the whole day because of the Nothing More Whitechapel situation. But the final day was fine. Dirty Honey, dude. Trust me when I say Dirty Honey, we'll have a lengthy episode because my God, those motherfuckers are insane. I've had a lot of good memories and questionable memories with Dirty Honey, and it all started at Exit 111 Festival that night. And GNR was the final band. It was freezing cold outside, and Axl only kept us waiting about 45 minutes. He was only 45 minutes late, so I didn't think that was too bad. But yeah, that late of night, it was one of those moments where I'm like, I would love to see all of Guns N' Roses, which slowly turned into, I'm good if we stay for maybe half. And then it was like, dude, 3 songs and I'm out. 3 songs and I'm out. Axl sounded terrible, bless his heart. Slash is a fucking monster. And that's really why I'd rather see Slash by himself than a GNR show. Said it, meant it. We'll do it again. But since then, I have been tent camping, and it's horrible. I don't like it at all. A lot of people are like, well, that's because you haven't been camping with me. It's so much better with me. And I'm like, no, listen, I've been glamping in an Airstream with 2 televisions, running water, and air conditioning, and I will do that all day. I will do that all day. I don't care who you are, where we're going, what the weather's doing. I'm not tent camping. My favorite part about camping is when I don't. And that goes for music festivals too. Dude, I had running water and showers, and I was still bitching about it because I didn't understand how camping went. So, not doing it. Not doing it. I get it though, because it's like nostalgic, right? Because a lot of people like grow up and they do that with their family. So I understand it, but I never went camping as a kid. So I don't fully appreciate it. Music festivals, I'll go all day. And there are a lot of music festivals that I haven't been to that I'm wasting some serious time on, and I'm sleeping on them because I really want to go to those, like Louder Than Life, dude. Freaking Incarceration. I want to do all that. And the older I get, it's like, man, 4 full days where like it starts at like 11 o'clock in the morning and goes until damn 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, shit. That's insane. But maybe one day, but so far I'm still very much a rookie at festivals and especially at camping. So do not invite me camping anywhere, okay? Thanks for listening. Stories, as always, are welcome at HaleySt.John.com/podcast or therealmp3s.com. Next week, or 2 weeks, next episode, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a guest. And it's a very, very special guest. A guest that I love very much. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Thanks for listening.